Hello everyone. Welcome to another Planet Zoo video. My name is Odyssey and today we're gonna be building our second habitat in our Tatra Zoo. Oh my god, those guys wanna go really bad to the bathroom. Let's go. Uh, I'm super happy with how this one turned out and I'm super excited to show you guys, so let's get started. Okay, so this one was a really improvised habitat. The only thing I knew is that I wanted to make like a bean shape in this free space I got over here. And I started making some trials. As you can see, there's like a shadow over there of a previous building. Well, not building, a previous path I built to kind of lay out what I wanted to do. And something I had really clear is that I wanted to build the Puma habitat and like an education house or a building where guests could see the pumas from, the ground area with some shade and more elevated area. And I started making this building and I kind of regret it because it didn't went with the look and feel of the zoo, so I started again with this I think they're called, oh, there, I see, Australia wood panels. So I started building like these view areas and points where guests could see the pumas, and building a railing over the window with some metal bars. And I think it turned really cool. And the thing I did was create like a single unit, so to say, and repeat it all over through the path I had above to create this C shape or a curve around the habitat. And yeah, I really recommend using panels to build curves or things like that because they really have the flexibility, meaning you don't have to be always aligned to a grid to use them. And maybe if you're starting out like me, making more intricate shapes with buildings, it really helps to get them like in the position you want them to be. So I repeated the whole thing over the path I had, and once I had like the whole shape in place, I started deciding where to put some solid wall panels so it would have more rhythm and not for it not to be a whole window. And also a thing I wanted to share with you is that for this top sightseeing area, of course, thinking about it's a Puma habitat, guests need some security to see them through there. I mean, we want to be safe. I started building this railing along the path above our building, and it kind of laid out what I wanted to do next. So my idea was for guests to have like this tour around the habitat and have really important vantage points where they could see the pumas from there. Also, I want to apologize, for some reason my voice is really raspy today, so you're gonna hear it like this throughout this video. But let's continue. So as I was saying, I was thinking about having like this flow and this route the guests could follow to see like the experience of seeing the pumas. So of course that route needed an exit, and that's what we're making right now. And for the entrance, I kind of laid it out at first for it to be like a path that went above the habitat, then under, and they could see. But this is something that will change in a little bit. So after that, I started to make the railing that would go along this path to have the guests safe, and basically adding a mesh. Also, I saw a lot of inspiration of real Puma habitats online, and they all really have this protection because I believe they can climb and they can jump a lot. So I wanted to keep my guests safe. But also a thing I started noticing throughout the habitat is that with this mesh and railing, things became really cold and kind of harsh in a way, like not, I don't know, I didn't feel like that cozy vibe from this habitat. And of course we're dealing with a dangerous animal and people should be secure, but I felt it like really, like it built a barrier, a really harsh barrier between the guests and the pumas. So that's why I try to make a balance between safety and also like a nice building I mean, the whole concept also of this zoo is for it to have like a contemporary aesthetic and things being really cared for in terms of buildings, architecture, where things are placed. So yeah, I kind of sacrificed a little bit of realness with this build. So I mean, it's a game. We should take advantage that we can do this kind of stuff. Talking about details, something I really had in mind is like the path and experience the guests would have walking through our habitat. So I wanted to make the the ride, so to say, along the Puma habitat something nice to look at, and for them to be immersed in the nature of the habitat, and also adding elements of that would be inside the habitat outside for them to feel like they were inside this experience with the pumas, and also keep things a little bit more nice and not that cold and harsh, as I said before. And yeah, so a lot of things I had to also test with the pumas inside. So I started worrying more about what we're going to have inside, and constructed the barrier around the habitat. I really had that idea of the bean shape I was talking before about. So I kind of roughly drafted the idea. Another thing I had really planned from the beginning is that I wanted to force the guests to take this route and travel along the, we're gonna call it for now, Puma experience I made for them. So I wanted them to be able to kind of see a glimpse from the main path, so they could say, oh, there's something cool and there's a lot of people going through there. I might take that route also and visit the Puma experience. So once I had kind of my main idea set out, this is where something started to change. Also, for example, this path, I said, no, it would be really interesting for them to go like along the habitat and then go above, then under, and have of this like roller coaster ride while seeing the pumas and making it something interesting. Yeah, and it was time to kind of put more attention to our building. And to close it off, what I did was basically duplicate the shape we have in front, get it to the back so we can get like this regular but different shape, and for it to also make sense in terms of the whole building. And I made like this teardrop or eye shape for the building, which worked and was really like this contemporary feel also, and giving it some contrast with some black walls in the back. If there's something I can say from this habitat, it's that I really made it more guest-centered rather than animal-centered, talking about specifically that it's thought for the guests more than it is for the animals. I mean, you'll see later, it's really thought through for also the pumas to have a nice experience living there. But the main idea for me to construct this habitat was for the guests to have a really cool experience, the Puma experience. I mean, if I could get a sign in there, I mean, I've thought it now that I'm making the voiceover right now, but it might be called the Puma experience. So it was time also to add some pumas into the habitat. You'll see later that I also wanted to have some babies, so I played through a little bit so you can see also what beautiful babies the pumas have. And you won't believe me, but just as it happened with the koalas, I have some footage lost. I'm getting a hold of things. I haven't done this before, so bear with me. But all the process of making the inside of the habitat got lost because I was saving my recordings on my external hard drive and they were too big and it kind of rejected them, and I'll figure that out next time. But what I'm building right now, it's kind of a play area for the pumas to jump and climb and also have, well, yeah, a play area. What more can I say? And the idea of what you missed because of my mistake is that the bean shape, that's also a keyword. Puma experience and bean shape are my keywords in this playthrough. Would have a river going along so the pumas could swim, and also have like some terraforming in there for it to be interesting because of what I know, pumas live in the mountains or in like this irregular areas. So the guests could see like this nice natural habitat going on where a river goes and it is born from a waterfall in the middle of the habitat. And next to the waterfall, we have a cave in which the pumas can sleep. So everywhere or every place the guests are, they can get a cool view from the whole habitat. So if they're beginning the tour, so to say, they can see the waterfall and some interesting pieces right there, the river. And if they're inside of this building, they can see the cave. And oh my god, I would love to visit the habitat, honestly, in real life. So what I'm doing right now, it's trying to blend the building with the habitat more and making this railing along the building itself for it to make more sense with what we're seeing inside. And also the pumas, I mean, I don't think they would care, but to have like this good blend between our contemporary building and the natural habitat inside. We still have a way to go to finish building this habitat, but I think I'm gonna leave you to the spit build with some nice music so you can enjoy and not listen a lot to me. I think it's time for that nice moment of the spit build. But before I leave you with that, I want to say that I haven't decided yet what I want to do with the building itself and the inside. Maybe I'll do an educational building or a gift store. I don't know yet. There's a lot of space for me to use. So you're gonna see everything being empty. And above the building, you'll see we're gonna create a rooftop with some cool amenities and for the guests to enjoy that vantage point of view from the zoo and the puma habitat. And now I'll come back in a little bit to give you a habitat tour, and we could end off with some cool puma footage from the pumas being cool and their lovely, lovely babies we got at the end. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm back. So this is how it turned out. I'm super excited with what we got at the end. I think it would be a lovely experience to live in real life. And let's start with a tour. So it starts from here. We have the bathrooms nearby, and that's why a lot of guests come making this pose. Sorry, I have some real beasts in my house, and you might hear them growling on the background. And they're playing, so I want them to enjoy, so you might hear them behind me. They might add to the Puma experience as ambient sound. So the guests start here, where they can get a cool view from the Puma playing with that recreation item that is some meat hanging from there, so they can get a cool view from there. And they start going through this way, where when the pumas gather here, they can really see them swimming, and they get a cool view from here. And after that, our guests go down and into this cool area. As I said before, we have a lot of space. Let me know if you have any ideas of what we can do with this space. But the guests can get a really nice and cozy look from the pumas in here. And they gather to see them while they're playing on the logs in the play area. Also when they sleep and when they eat, they have a good vantage point from here. And they get to see them really close, and they get this great and cool view from the habitat, you know, seeing the playground where they sleep, the waterfall. I mean, I would love to see that in real life, as I was saying. After that, they can come to the upstairs, the roof garden, which is a really nice and zen area to enjoy some view of the pumas. I thought a lot about the Berlin Zoo. There's a mall, a kind of small mall, where you can see, I think they're baboons. I don't remember quite well right now. It was many years ago when I saw them. But you can see them from the mall, and this kind of inspired me to make this. You know, so guests can go up there, grab a coffee, something to eat, while they're enjoying a great view from the zoo and the pumas. Also, we have a great vantage point from the pumas sleeping, as we're seeing right now, and guests gather there to see them sleep, and that actually worked, which got me excited that they go up there to see them sleep, and it's kind of cool. So I wanted to show you how people gather when the pumas are having a swim, and I think this is working great. I mean, the planning of how the travel and the Puma experience would work, I think it's working, and I think people really get to enjoy the whole ride and traveling through the habitat. So I think it works great, and the idea, I mean, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, I'm glad. Thumbs up. So the time has come where I leave you with some Puma and habitat footage and say goodbye to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this speed build, and I see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the Puma babies. Bye bye.